I personally think, and like, you know, my peers, we all really loved it. We all loved doing the show. It, like, Toy Story has so much heart, and it's such an amazing story. I personally think, and the music was great. They had these wonderful New York composers write some of the music for it. Um, you know, like the Buzz, like, you know, Woody sang this amazing song called "That's Why We're Here," where he talks about just like the essence of a toy is to like be there for your person, and that was kind of the opening number. The Buzz Lightyear character, his song, of course, called "To Infinity and Beyond," was like a recruiting song to like recruit the other toys to be part of this his space mission. Like, it was just really smart, good stuff. The character of Sid, the next door neighbor, played by my dear friend Rachel Fisher, had like this incredible like rock and roll like song. It was really, really fun. I think that it was too big, like literally too big of a show for the ship, so they couldn't quite develop it the way that I think they needed to. Like, we had to, when we were walking around on stage, when we would exit the stage, like, there was an entire other show happening backstage on just how to like turn us around. Like, we needed like 3 people to help us like go from this way to like this way, just because we were so huge. So I personally think, who knows, I know nothing about how any of this works, but I personally think that if it had been developed in the parks, like in the amusement parks,
Right.
maybe they could have thought a little bit beyond, you know, infinity, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they could have maybe like done a little bit more that they originally had conceived in their brains, maybe, you know, and then maybe they could have thought about moving it, because it seems like a pretty obvious show to move to like a Disney Broadway type of thing. But unfortunately, it just closed on the ships a couple of years ago. So it ran for like about 10 years, 10 years or so on the ship. So like, it had, you know, it was a good little run, and people really enjoyed it. But yeah, it ends there for now.
Yeah. But you have always, so you originated the butt though.
I did originate the butt. I, again, understudied, because, you know, there's so many roles that like everyone just kind of understudies everybody there. So I understudied Little Bo Peep.
Really hard to play the butt.
I hope, you know, my dear friend who was the swing on Toy Story was my understudy, and when I went on for Bo Peep, she got to go on for me, and she was like, it's a thrill. It's a real thrill to go on for the butt.
I feel like that's a lot of work. We're joking, but I'm like, that must be exhausting. I do not envy that role. Like, that's hard. Anyways.
It was. I had to wear a back brace for the first time, you know? Like, luckily, because we were this original cast, we actually, it was kind of the first time ever that I sort of felt like I had a little bit of power in the theater, and me and my other puppet comrades, we were like, we're hurting. Like, we had heard all of these nightmare stories about Lion King and these people in giant puppets and having neck and back issues for years. So we asked for weekly physio appointments, and like, you know, on the ship, and we asked for certain, like, because there was no one else that could have done it. You know, they couldn't have replaced us. We kind of like came together and like made a few demands, and being an original cast member, we actually got a whole bunch of what we asked for. So it was nice. It was the first time I was like, we can do things ourselves. You know, we aren't just powerless actors.
I always think actors need physio. And I'm like, at one part, I'm like, if I was really ambitious, I would offer my services. But I'm like, that's a lot of people needing physio. That's just like a lot of work. So I'm like, maybe. I'm like, if you put me in the show, I'll be your physio. But like,
I'm calling you up, by the way.